What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 92 of my Total Warhammer 3 Ikit Claw Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, we got some glorious battles showing off once again the power of the warp fire throwers and the rattling guns and the general power of the range of Clan Skryre. Can't wait to see more of those, and they've definitely been great throughout the campaign, and I'd like to see them continue until the end. Anyway, this whole free-for-all that's been going on around Sylvania is starting to get close to its end. We still do have all the bone rattlers to destroy, so all of their full stacks, but most of the other full stacks here have been, by and large, decimated, which is nice. We do still have the Crooked Moon to take care of, and Karakazorn, though I don't know how strong they are since we don't have any contact with them at the current time, so, or do we? Wait, no, we should. I want to see what their balance of power is. They should have been revealed as soon as the endgame scenario occurred. Where are dwarfs? They should be up here somewhere. There we go. Karakazorn. Oh, wow. Huh. They seem to have lost their armies, perhaps? Just judging by their balance of power. I mean, look at the Ancestral Throng. They clearly haven't, but I guess Azorn must have run into some issues fighting the Western Provinces and the Knights of Caledor. Oh, they're not fighting the Caravan of Blue Roses. That's odd. That's really odd. You'd think that they'd try to put the dead back into the ground, but apparently not the case. Oh well. Alrighty, now, in terms of what we gotta do this time around, there's probably a bunch of moves to make. Ikit does probably want to travel towards Castle Templehof, though I do have to wonder whether we can actually get these guys on the way or not. It's a little bit concerning. 60 movement, 66 movement. You know what? Go through this one army. But I'd rather not sacrifice Templehof to the ogres, so we can leave the other one alive-ish, insofar as we can call it that. Auto-resolve that, so that shouldn't hurt Ikit, or at least I think it did actually slightly hurt Ikit, but not too badly. We do... yeah, we can take the food for this, enslave. And it looks like we won't be able to sack Templehof, we can just auto-resolve it and destroy it. And both those armies died? Yes, indeed they did. Alrighty, and we will auto-resolve this as well, which is probably also going to hurt Ikit, but certainly not worth fighting. Castle Templehof, do we capture you at food cost? Yeah, maybe a little. Let's say tier 3. Nothing crazy, but tier 3 should be good. Loot and occupy, please, and the healing will have healed up everybody but Ikit, I take it. Yeah. I wonder why they made it so that single entities can't heal like this. It's a little bit odd. I do wonder what the design reasoning for that is. If anybody has any ideas on that, let me know, because I am quite curious as to the reasoning. But anyway, Ikit, you are good now. We'll have you take Castle Drakenhof next. Mutant, you can also move in to take Oakenhammer. Not this turn, but next turn. Okay, fine. Then I guess you can move up. Just jump here. Honestly, if we draw out the garrison of Oakenhammer and while everybody attacks here, that would be great. Though somehow I doubt that they're going to bother. Alrighty, and you know what? Let's move through this systematically. Let's see who else needs to move. Chargelock, you're traveling down from the north. You can reach Zavastra, but alas, you cannot reach Beckhofen. Let's move into Zavastra for now. And hopefully your loyalty will stop dropping. Let them fight over it. Only has one more turn remaining. So afterwards, any wins in your army will start getting your loyalty back up. Alrighty, Morphific. You are going to head towards Crookback Mountain, though I suppose we need to defend Mount Silverspear from a potential attack. You cannot reach Crookback Mountain, unfortunately, so we'll send you, let's say, here. And we'll have you start raiding the place. We still need to swap some units around. Now, what's the likelihood that you can take Mount Silverspear with this? Pretty small, right? There's not much of a garrison, but this isn't much of an army either. I suppose what we could do is jump upside down. Upside down, I get it. He can't actually, or can he? Wait. He can reach Mount Silverspear. Not the city, but just outside in that tiny little circle. Great. And then Murtra, you're supposed to join upside. At least this way there's no chance of losing it, and I don't think these places can be taken either. At least not with this army. Alrighty, Scheif, you're up next. I believe you are heading out towards either Dawn's Light or even better, Fortress of Dawn. Ooh. 34k money for sacking this? Yes, please. That looks good to me, although we may actually have to manually fight this as it is a tier 5 settlement, plus it has something of a defender in it. Pyrrhic victory. Yeah, it won't let us auto-resolve this. Oh right, you also have the Plague Monk Censer Bearer Regiment of Renown. I was gonna potentially give this to Lord Skrolk, but maybe we can do without. Alright, well, we'll be doing this fight in a bit. You can siege for now. 35k is very, very much worth it. It may still be less than a turn of income for us at the current time, but there's a lot of buildings that we need to be building. Cyprus, you're going to move out to attack Zamnil, but we'll see this in a second, because that'll be an attack. Ah, yes, Corpable. Your move is important right now. We have 2 full stacks and lots of dinos by the looks of it heading out towards us. So what we're going to want to do is put you into ambush and then put you outside of Grand and Massive. Like so. And then hopefully, what's the ambush chance here, by the way? 100%. Alrighty. Well, hopefully one of these guys falls for it. Twould be great. Gotta remember that this army is damaged, so if the ambush fails, it's some scary armies that we're facing off against. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 units of just straight dinos. Damn. Although at least a few of those are ranged, but still, damn. Scary for Corpable. In fact, if we're going to do this, we may as well give Corpable his points because, well, he's in danger. I believe Blade Shield was the next thing to go because of the lack of melee defense on the Brood Horrors. Yeah, let's do that. And then you, Plague Priest, still got your points. You have all your magic, so I guess you can head directly towards Wild-Eyed. No, you know what, let's get Trixie as well. Honestly, you probably don't get too much value out of Deadly Onslaught or Foe Seeker when you're on the Plague Furnace, so yeah. Alrighty, who's up next? Cyprus, I just checked you, and Metable, well, in a second. Throt, ah yes, Throt. What do we do with you? So, you were headed out towards Kruglug here. Okay, what we need to do is move you here, and we need to check. Is there another army here? Not by the looks of it. So we might be okay. Steel Tech, please. Failure. Oh, come on, lab rats. What is this? One job. Get out another upgrade for Steel Tech, please. Yeah, so I guess what we try to do is take care of Raziak. I'm just concerned about whatever's in this Wa. Ooh. And they got a Feral Wyvern at the very least. It is a damaged Wa. I do have to wonder whether Throt would be able to take it. Take the army, I mean. Well, we're gonna have to find out. You're gonna go into Stalking, you're gonna head into Raziak. And you're gonna auto-resolve it, though it's probably going to hurt. Yep. Oh, wow, that hurt the Morscatar's Hellion much more than I was expecting. Well, that's too bad. Let's occupy this place at tier 3, and I know that it's not a good, really, location to bother occupying at a high tier or wasting food on, but in this particular case, I think Throt needs a little bit of help. And a little bit of extra garrison units, just to distract the enemies as they inevitably will move towards him next turn. And, well, at the very least, most of this basic army is useless, but they do have an Ragnarok and some stuff, and we are hurt because I'm impatient. Basically the only reason why. You two are going to join the army, but in a bit. If we're going to fight a difficult battle with Throt next turn, we want the Wolf Rats alive, I think, for this, and we might as well give him his points as well. You've got 2. Oh, I just got it. Monster Throttler. Ha ha ha. I get standard die, and I guess get Monster Throttler as well right now, and I believe that's good. We'll be heading towards the buffs afterwards. Next up, Packmasters. You have your Tides maxed out. Neither of you have Scavenger, right? That's Gorich. No, you actually do have Scavenger. Alright, fine. Now let's get to you towards Shock Caller. Oh, you need 6 points. Alright, well, Tenacity, I think, is the way to go. And then we'll get Thick-Skinned afterwards. Like so, and then you, other Packmaster, you can have 1 point in Scavenge, and then 2 points in Hard to Hit. Lovely. And then Gorich, what do you have? You have all the good stuff, mostly, but still more points in Blade Shield are needed here. Next up, Eshin Sorcerer. Alright, well, Armor of Darkness is the thing we spam the most here by far, and it is quite a useful spell. Let's get Toxic Rain and then 1 point in Veil of Shadows, which is quite useful as well, just not as useful for this army as it is, for example, in a couple of our other armies. Armor of Darkness, however, does counteract some of the weaknesses that this army has. In fact, I'm tempted to go for the 3rd level of Armor of Darkness. Yeah, there's a bunch of things we need here anyway. Alrighty, lovely. You guys stay here and prepare for your fight with Kruglug. Speaking of fight, let's try to get a battle going, shall we? How about Cyprus versus Dwarfen Stack? Well, let's see if said Dwarfen Stack... Okay, wait, no, not Cyprus, Metable. Almost made a slight miscalculation there. Metable, you have Gutter-wise, which is Deathrunners and Eshin Triads. You are, however, using Warplug Jezzails as well, so Warp Smart will be the way to go. Right? Wait. Yeah, okay, weapon teams. I was looking for the Warplug Jezzails words and getting confused, but yeah, they definitely need all the buffs they can get. Eshin Sorcerer, you have Armor of Darkness maxed out, but as you should, we have Black Whirlwind maxed out. I guess we could get either Brittle Bone or Magical Reserves, though honestly, considering the amount of mana we have, we wouldn't be using either one of them in this particular fight, so it's not like it's super relevant. And I just plain don't like Warp Stars, so yeah. And Magical Reserves does nothing for us because we aren't anywhere near the max. Let's just get Brittle Bone then. Occasionally we might still use it. Alrighty, Metable, head towards Mr. Zamnil here. Let's see if we can get an ambush going. And no dice on the ambush. Well, that's unfortunate. We could move Cyprus in, but if we do, I fear that this army will simply run away. And that ain't so great. The problem with not fighting these guys in an ambush is that this will be an underground battle, which means that they will move towards us. And this army isn't really supposed to fight direct fights. Alright, you know what? Retreat for a second. You can still reach them. Alright, so Cyprus, you're gonna move in. We'll see if they actually try to back out or not. I'm pretty sure they would. The problem is, if we don't get the ambush here, isn't even so much that they will move towards us, actually. It's the fact that that underground battle will just allow them all to move off the map. Then we'll have to hunt them down again, which is going to be quite irritating. So try it again and see what happens. He's just going to run now. But where is he? He's going to go past the river. You got to be kidding me. Well, he's going to take a turn of attrition here, and neither of you two, unfortunately, can reach him. Can you go into ambush stance? Yes, you can. Alright, here's what we'll do. We'll put you into a camp right here, and Metable right beside you in ambush. Hopefully he'll be like, oh, look, it's Cyprus and his garbage Cyprus army, and then try it. Let's just hope he tries it. Alrighty, well, if that battle is not going to happen, we're going to have to get another one going. Also, Bok, can you do anything? You cannot, because you have the debuff from exhaustion. Yeah, that's fine. Alright, well, just stay here. In fact, maybe we should send you up into the mountains to keep an eye on what's going on with these guys. We're gonna keep Tretch where he is at the current time, because I hope he intercepts stuff. And Garth is good. Skrolk is recruiting for one more turn. Oh, right. Scalpite.
Master Engineer.
Scalpite. Curious as to what to do with you, my friend. We could try an attack on Alberic. I'm not entirely sure it's a good idea or not. It really depends on what is in his army, but if we can get an ambush happening, it might still be worth the effort. So in that light, we're going to do this. First of all, you're going to get Weapons Engineer, because always, and Brass Orb. And then we're going to give it a shot. We can't fight his army in a direct contest, but in an ambush, then we can certainly try it, so try it. Ambush. Alrighty, now Alberic does have some Knights of the Realm and some Questing Knights and a very decent pile of enemy ranged units, but in ambush, we obviously have the advantage. I forgot to remove the clan, or the grand banner of clan superiority and put it on somebody who can make more use of it, but for now I guess we'll put it on the Chaos Spawn. And we'll expect them to hold the line and probably fight to their deaths just like they did last time, but hey, as long as it works, as long as it allows us to kill these guys, I'm happy. Here we go. Alrighty, here SCALPITE goes again. I wouldn't be super concerned if this was a massive pile of infantry, but nearly half the enemy army is made up of cav, especially if you count Alberic himself, who's on his flying hippogriff there. We've got 6 units of elite knights of the various types, questing, errant, and realm, and then we got 2 mounted yeomen to bring up the regular units of cav up to 8. Let's see if we can bring them down. We're obviously going to send in all of our Skaven slave spears forward, and we're gonna hope that the death globes can dish out sufficient damage. We're gonna keep our units of the chaos spawn on the sides here in the hopes that they can stop any enemy blobs from getting around our flanks and hurting our piles of death globes. Lastly, we do still have a little bit of trickle damage, I suppose, coming in from our massive piles of Skaven slave slingers, but mostly they're just there to move into melee once our own death globes have killed all of our own Skaven slave spears. Alrighty, knights. Let's see how long they can survive under the attacks from the various death globes. Death globes are probably going to be better at dishing out damage to infantry, but they should still be pretty darn good at killing knights. They may not be poison winds, which would probably be more effective at this, but especially when the enemy blobs up like this, it's looking fairly well. Alrighty, gonna get a little bit of magic attack from Alberic on some of our Skaven slaves, but not too bad. In fact, it looks like those volleys from our death globes have managed to clear out 2 units. So Knights of the Realm and Knights Errant are done for. There's some mounted yeomen over on the side that are still alive, but actually our Skaven slave spears and even Skaven slave slingers should be able to take care of those. There are still 3 more elite cav units being held off by the chaos spawn, but as long as they're holding, that is fine. We also have Alberic trying to chase down SCALPITE, who has popped his Helm of Discord and is trying to run the heck away, or trundle away on his mount there, on his Doom Flare. And he is obviously going to get wrecked by Alberic if we let Alberic continuously attack him. That said, that's a lot of debuffs on him right now. 31 and 13 attack and defense, so pretty good between everything that he has on him. And on top of that, we got all 3 of our Feral Manticores moving in to help. We also have our Chaos Spawn, who are going to try to hold, but they will be taking damage from our own Death Globes, though on the other hand, that's more or less fine. We have also, as you can see, done a decent amount of damage to the enemy piles of Peasant Bowmen here, and that's just repeated casts of Scorch, Brass Orb, and Warp Lightning on them from SCALPITE while he runs around and tries to escape Alberic. Oh, it looks like a few of the knights have managed to bypass our Chaos Spawn, or perhaps the Chaos Spawn simply moved away. But they're in pretty bad shape as well, and we're getting some help from SCALPITE now here too. Especially as Alberic is now distracted by the triple Manticores. Alright, you go, Manticores. I do like the fact that the Beastmen units are free and thus we don't have to care about them. Oh wow, the Manticores look like one creature with 3 heads here. It's kind of cool. I kind of like that. Too bad there's no like 3-headed Manticore Super Chimera or something like that. Yeah, you keep fighting Alberic. They are going to get damage doing this, but there are Skaven slave spears, those that remain, moving in to help, and we are still managing to hold the enemy off. We're gonna have our Death Globes now attack whatever other units they can. Battle Pilgrims moving in here, and they are the most threatening enemy units that are of the infantry variety. Of course, the various arrow units are threatening as well, but I do expect SCALPITE will kill them sooner rather than later, just by virtue of his magical damage. There we go, Death Globes. And Death Globes are disgusting. They are an absolutely disgusting unit. When they're not immediately deleted by the enemy, they just do so much. Granted, they kill half of your own army as well, but this army is built around the idea that all of our Skaven slaves will get killed by our own Death Globes, and they're easily replaceable. Alrighty, looks like another Brass Orb has hit the enemy archers that remain, and in fact, the rest of the army will rout. Looks like Alberic did get more or less defeated by the Feral Manticores. They all did get quite badly hurt here, and about half HP on 2 of them, though it looks like they would have brought down Alberic over time. Very, very nice. And a fairly short battle, 2 minutes and 30 seconds for the entire battle to be completed. Now, we do want to chase everybody off as best we can, because obviously this is not going to complete the destruction of their army, though fortunately the Death Globes are faster than at the very least the peasants, so they should be able to clean them all up. If they actually fire, there we go, a volley, and they're all dead. Man, I wonder how much damage the Death Globes will have done by the end of this. 166 and 15k, not so bad, and 270 and 17k, damn. And 282 and 22k, nearly to 23. Obviously, the ones that were more targeting the knights will have less kills but equivalent damage, whereas the ones that were targeting the peasants will have more kills but also equivalent damage. Anyway, there we go, a close victory for us, but we still managed to pull it off, and that wasn't looking crazy likely, but hey, SCALPITE. Frickin' SCALPITE, man. Alrighty, another win for SCALPITE. I don't know how this Ratman keeps pulling off these wins. Why does this stupid army keep winning? Oh man, we just randomly cobbled it together out of just random. It's mostly Skaven slaves at the end of the game. I don't even know, man. And a bunch of free units together with them as well. SCALPITE, you do good work, man. It's like as if the Skaven masters have like sent one of their underlings and just like completely sabotaged them by giving them just the worst possible army with just a smattering of random troops, and then this frickin' rat just keeps winning everything and surviving, which is kind of similar to the story of various of the Skaven anyway. Great job, SCALPITE. Let's get you a little bit of healing for that. And Alberic's going to back off, and we should be able to finish him off with... Oh, are we not able to reach him here? No, we are. Okay, just barely. Plus 15 attack when fighting at sea for SCALPITE. I don't think he needs it, but yeah. It looks like Teclis is going to land in Nahuantl. I'm not 100% sure whether we can hold, but we could do a temporary lord there, which I guess we'll do in a second. You take out Alberic. No, I misclicked. I got too excited. Oh well. It looks like he's gonna be alive, but it's not like he can do anything. Or take anything. In fact, I'd be curious to see where he'd go. He's probably gonna cross the river to where we can to reach him, most likely. Yeah, that was my bad. SCALPITE just has me so shook that I can't move stuff. Oh right, there was the Skull Reef here as well. Well, we might as well send SCALPITE to pick up a Skull Reef, because clearly whatever they have is also not going to be enough to stop his rampage here. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so there's two things that we also need to do. Oh, hey, Fey Enchantress. You're a part of Bordelot now, eh? Probably can't take any of these places though, so we shouldn't be that concerned. There's a couple things we want to do. Thing one, Miragliano. We are going to summon a temporary warlord here, like so, beside the Vomitus. He starts at rank 10, or level 10. Then we're obviously going to give him Ravenous Expansion for the extra income and the growth. This is going to drop the income we get, generally speaking, by quite a bit, but that's fine. You don't need anything else. And what we need to do is transfer Boilrin's stuff to you. Like so. Then Huh? Wait. I've never seen that before. Boilrin transferred his army, and after using the underway stance, he can move again. That's very strange. I thought you couldn't move ever after using underway stance. Huh, interesting. And then we're going to join a U here, and that'll be it. Alright, move in. Alrighty, Deathmaster Snitch's army is more or less complete. Yeah, maybe we'll get a couple Leshen Triads in here. I still haven't decided, but for now it's good. Mostly because, obviously, we're not using Gutter Runners anywhere else, and Snitch does buff them, so he's the best, most likely, I should say, to use them. And the only thing I'm tempted to do is get either 2 Eshin Triads or... at the very least 2 Eshin Triads, just to protect us against anti-large, but then again, why would we bother with them even when they're buffed when Giselles can act as anti-large anyway? Yeah, well, we'll replace Mr. Rob's side here next turn with Deathmaster Snitch, and then that'll be the whole family up and running and doing things. Alrighty, now, let's do a little bit of building, shall we? We do have a decent amount of cash after all. Let's get the construction cavern and the scrap heap. Oh right, this is a military-ish province. It's still generating a decent amount of cash. Could probably just replace these things with more Packmaster generating buildings, though. Oh, we're at 6 out of 8 on the Packmasters. And they're the only ones that we don't have a lot of. On the other hand, I'm not sure that we're intending to build any more full stack armies right now. Anyway, Erengrad. Next up, EU Land of Assassins. Let's get you upgraded. Blood River Valley, Berkvar, yes, to the next level. And we can probably freely spend as much money as we want here, especially considering the fact that we'll be getting 35k from sacking the Fortress of Dawn next turn. We'll probably also remove this thing from Tribe Slaughter, though on the other hand, it is nice to have something of a military province up north. Alright, just keep it for now. I don't want to go too much into the admin aspects at this point, because we're so late into the campaign. I can't believe it's only turn 88. We have 166 settlements on turn 88, and yeah, it's pretty disgusting. Alrighty, Vitevo, let's also get you those walls up and running. Black Mountains, Karakharn, max level. Takes a lot of our money, though. Alright, Karakazul, you are the same, and I should probably take a look... Oh, right, we're gonna skip the Chain Sentry Beasts. I should probably take a look at some of the commandments. There's probably a few more that we probably will like to switch to exploitative planning rather than expansionist at this point in time, but we'll check it out later. Southlands, World's Edge Mountains, Karakzorn. We have the gold mine up and running. I guess we can get the arcane generators to power it up immediately. Yeah, we can get the growth as well, but oh no. Your public order is awful right now. Now we're going for Taskmaster's platform then. Yeah, we do have fairly negative public order in a lot of places, but once again, it's not a big deal. No rebellion is going to be enough to deal with their defensive garrisons anyway, so we're hardly concerned about it. Anyway, World's Edge Mountains, let's upgrade your walls here. Same with the High Place, as the orcs might try to come back and annoy us here. Mousillon, get ourselves another harbor. Nordland, yes. Lumberyard, ooh, wait. Are you still not ready to trade us
fight or both?
Salzenmund for Longship Graveyard? Still really? But it's tier 3 now, and it's a capital. Whereas this is not, and I know that you're Norse, and this place just got sacked. Are you guys kidding me? Well, let's just hope that it gets killed by these guys. They wouldn't even trade a sacked freaking territory? Man. Annoying. Watch the Hung Warband attack us, though. We're not Slaneshi enough to enjoy that. Alrighty, well, regardless, let's keep going through the buildings. Ostland and stuff. Okay, Norden was the way to go. Let's go for Rattling Warrens, just for the little bit of extra growth. And wait, that must have been something else, because I was thinking of Nordland and then I clicked to something else. You can get walls for now. We might actually have to keep you. Unexpectedly, perhaps, but nonetheless. Castle Tempelhof, new acquisition. Let's immediately get the Taskmaster's platform up and running. Honestly, we're not going to be concerned with anything attacking this place. It's pretty unlikely. Minus 17. You know what? Don't collect income for a couple turns. It's fine. Alrighty, Vidriath, Torgavon, and Arguelon are all ready for an upgrade, but Talzin won't be for another turn, which means next turn we will be. So, what we're gonna do is we're going to switch them all to expansionist planning, and we're going to upgrade them all in one go next turn. And just because I don't like to jump back to them over and over and over again, it's just annoying. Alrighty, so that was Arguelon and Co. Ostermark, Mordheim, let's build you up. It's going to run out of cash now. And walls, please. Blackwater, Carrick-Dromar, yes. Oakenhammer is not ours yet, but it shall be. Northern World's Edge Mountains, Carrick-Raziak are another new acquisition. Go for Rattling Warrens, go for Rubbish Pit, and go for walls. Griffinwood. I might as well upgrade it as well. Not that we particularly care about the place, mind you, but nonetheless. Gisero Gap, Zornus Cool. And we were going to build the iron here, and iron there shall be. Still have 20k remaining. Alrighty, Carrick Kadrin. Can't go for walls yet, but we can certainly go for the Taskmaster's platform. Southern Sylvania, Schwarzhofen, yes, definitely gotta upgrade you ASAP to get that Fetid Marsh up and running, the Blackcorn Swamp or whatever it's called. And lastly, the Devil's Backbone, the Nest Layer, and the Growth of the Granite Massif. Alrighty, beautiful. That is all completed, and we are ready to jump into another battle, but alas, we're gonna have to do it at the start of next episode. So next time we will start off by having Scheif take out the Fortress of Dawn in a siege, and then we'll end the turn, which will probably prompt another battle between the forces of the Last Defenders and Corporable's hurt army. Hopefully the ambush will succeed, but if it doesn't, it'll be a very dangerous fight for him, which nonetheless is exciting. And then this is probably not the only fight that will be prompted at the end of the turn, because there is also this fight. A full Wa plus this army, and then Throt damaged because I'm stupid and impatient. But oh well. We're also finally racking up a little bit of warp fuel, and I have been finding... I feel like this is some kind of observation bias or whatever, but I've been finding that warp fuel seems to accumulate more when you have some. Like, when you have 0, it seems like you never get even 1, but then when you have like a little bit more than 3 or whatever, suddenly you just keep getting the warp fuel. So we're going to keep gaining it for a while, and yeah, I feel like it's a superstition, but nonetheless, gotta get the mojo on our side, and hopefully we can get it to about 20 or so, and then just spend it on a bunch of upgrades that we've been waiting for, namely the Doom Flayers, and maybe a little bit in the Doom Wheels and a few of the other things, especially as we are looking to make more of them. Speaking of making more of them, Bilefidge. You've been doing a great job, and we're going to combine Plague Monks with Doom Flayers and Doom Wheels. Let's take out, let's say 1, 2... How many Plague Claw Catapults do we need here? I think 4 is good. Don't want to go too heavy on them, and I also don't want an army that's essentially a repeat of Garth's army, so it's going to have to be different, and I think this will make it different enough. The Doomflayers will act as supporting troops or as a melee front line to buff up the Plague Monks. Might even want to get a 5th one in here just to buff them up a little bit more, and then the Doom Wheels will act as skirmisher cav to annoy the enemy. Maybe we'll get a couple of other units in here additionally to this, as from our allies, for example a Tzeentchen unit or something like that, but we shall see later. Alright, do we have access to mammoths now? I think we do, but not from these guys. I was just thinking maybe we get some mammoths. Oh wow, their Pharaoh Manticores are quite cheap. I was thinking of getting access to some mammoths, but on the other hand, why would we bother using mammoths when we can get Hellpit Abominations, which are A, buffable by our faction, and B, just, well, better for our purposes, because they're buffable by our faction. Oh, and right, Ikit. You're now able to get your personal Corn Guard. Alright, so here's what we'll do. We'll have Ikit take out Darkhold, which is the last settlement of the Knights of Caledor, and while sitting there waiting to attack anything up north, he will recruit his new Cornate minions. Alright, that'll be fun. Some Knights of Corn in this army, finally. Anyway, I digress. Lots of more stuff to do, so stay tuned for more rats. Don't forget to leave a like and comment. All glory to the algorithm. And thanks for watching.